Since it's a semifinal, since it's going to be tense, I'm going to believe that this is going to be a close game. And I think Argentina is just about going to go through. I think Argentina, I think, I don't think their team has been as convincing as England. I don't think their team on paper is as good as England, but one man and one man only, in my opinion, is going to change this game, and it's Lionel Andres Messi, bro. If you have Messi on your team, I've been saying this for the longest. I've been saying this recently for the past few days. Ever since the Cape Verde game, I've been saying as long as you have this guy Messi on your team, you can do anything.
What did I say? What did I say? Hey guys, FG's GamerYT here, and today we're going to be making a new video, and this video is going to be about reviewing my reviewing the semifinal games, talking about the two semifinal games, and then making our new third place prediction and making our World Cup final prediction, which is going to be Spain versus Argentina. It was confirmed yesterday after England beat Argentina 2-1. Amazing game. I watched that game. I watched both semifinal games. They are both insane in different ways. Like Spain, because of how dominated they were in their win against France. And then England versus Argentina, the mentality that Argentina have to come back from 1-0 to 2-1 in the 90-something minute. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I just have to talk about what I said in the last video when I made my predictions about the semifinals. I watched the part where I was talking about the two semifinal games, prediction, all that. And what I said was pretty spot on for the most part. Let's talk about France versus Spain. Because going into this game, I was expecting France to win. Not only this, but I was expecting them to go to the final and win the whole thing. I was expecting them to win the World Cup. Before this World Cup started, I predicted Spain versus Argentina to be the final. And then as the tournament went on, I saw France, and I watched them, and I saw how good they are performing with Mbappe, with Dembele, with Olise, and with Barcola/Doué. It depends on some games, but yeah, I saw how not only their attack, but the whole French team was performing, and they were performing like the most convincing team. And I still believe that they're the most convincing team. I still think they were the best team in this World Cup. In my opinion, I don't care if Spain or Argentina win the World Cup. In my eyes, they weren't the most convincing. They weren't the best team. In my opinion, that goes to France. For the most part, they've been convincing. Other than, in my opinion, the game against Paraguay, and then obviously this game that just went on against Spain like 2 days ago. And let's talk about the game, because I knew this game was going to be close because of how compact Spain is as a unit, how good they are as a unit, and how good defensively Spain is specifically. I knew this was going to be a hard game for France. I knew they were going to limit France in a lot of things, and I knew the game was going to be very close. But what I didn't expect France to play so bad, and I didn't expect Spain to dominate so much. I knew Spain would dominate with the ball on their feet, because Spain are that type of team that'll just pass you around the park. But it was just crazy. It was just crazy how dominant Spain were over France, because I expected France to at least or at most score a goal. And let's be real, France should have scored. The amount of chances France had. France, in my opinion, had more chances than Spain, I'm pretty sure. I watched the whole game. I felt like France had way more chances than Spain. Maybe the stats maybe if I look at the stats, it might be the opposite, but still, France had a lot of chances to score, specifically their attack. Mbappe had chances, Barcola had chances. Like, their attack, this team, they had chances to score not only one, but multiple goals on Spain, and they just couldn't, because Spain's defense is so brilliant. And I feel like their defense and their midfield is the highlight of this game, because their defensive midfield was incredible. They absolutely dominated France, and I'm not gonna lie, France got outplayed. France got outplayed. Like I can't say that France is just like a bad day. I can't say that they lost to a superior team necessarily because France is a good team. I can't say that they're scrubs and they just lost to a way better quality side because France, in my opinion, probably has the best quality team in the World Cup. In terms of players, they probably have the best quality. But they just got outplayed. They got outplayed out the park by Spain. And it was incredible. It was an incredible performance from Spain, honestly. I was really impressed by Spain. I knew the game was going to be close. I'm honestly not surprised that Spain won because, you kind of expect this out of Spain, to be good defensively, to be you expect them to be good defensively, you expect them to be good as a unit. What I am surprised is the manner that they beat them. And the fact that France didn't even score a goal against them. Because this is by far and away Spain's most convincing performance in the World Cup. They just beat the best team in the World Cup. They just beat the best team in the World Cup, in my opinion. France have done no foot wrong this whole World Cup other than this game. They've done no foot wrong. They've been brilliant. They've been perfect the entire World Cup. All their players have been shining. All their players have been perfect. But in this game, it was like they just forgot how to play. It's like they forgot how to play as a team. And it was incredible. It was an incredible performance by Spain. Some standouts, Rodri was incredible. Fabian Ruiz, I thought he was really good. Kubasi, he locked up Mbappe, bro. My Barca man, bro. My Barca boy, bro. He locked up Mbappe, bro. Cucurella, another good performance from him. Pedro Porro, brilliant from him. He even scored in the game, And, obviously, the big talking point, Lamine, of course, talking his crap. Of course, in interviews saying that, what about us? We're also good as well, which, to be fair with him, he was absolutely spot on. I mean, let's be real. Technically, Spain is better than France because the last 3 matches, Spain won pretty convincingly against France. They won pretty convincingly. Pretty convincing. So, I'm, like, Lamine, Yamal, bro, he deserves to talk all that, bro. Like, as long as he can back up his talk, and as long as he's saying the right things, bro, that actually, bro, as long as he can back up his talk, I'm fine with it. And he did back up his talk. I thought Yamal had a pretty good game. He was taking his men on very direct, getting 1v1s, won a penalty for Spain. I do not know what Digne was doing there. Kicked Yamal. Yamal played it smart. He fell, got the penalty. Bro, it was silly from Digne. It was silly from Oyarzabal slots in home, and then Pedro Porro scores that, goal, He scores as well to make it 2-0. It was a dominant display. It was a dominant performance from Spain, honestly. Their most convincing performance. I was actually really, really impressed with Spain. I was really impressed. I thought it would be a close game. I thought France would just about make it through. I knew Spain was going to make it hard for them because of how good they've been in this World Cup. The fact that they only conceded 1 goal to Belgium in this World Cup. So, but I'm not going to lie. I'm really impressed by Spain. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for France. I'm disappointed. And I'm specifically disappointed in their attack because I expected their attack to turn up this game. I expected Mbappe to play better. I expected specifically even Olise to play better too. Dembele as well. The only attacker, in my opinion, that played well was Barcola. That was the only attacker. And Deschamps took him off for some reason. I don't know why he did. Mbappe didn't really have the best of games. He had a few chances, but didn't have the best of games. Dembele did not have a good game whatsoever. I don't think Dembele's had a good tournament at all, even though the GA shows it. I think performance-wise, I think he hasn't had a good tournament. I think there's been a lot of players that have done better than him. Olise, in my opinion, did not have a good game either. Was basically invisible in that game. I don't think he had a good game. I don't think most of France attack, in my opinion, disappointed me. I don't think they had it. I don't think they've either all have a good game. I think the only one who had a good game was Barcola, and Barcola got subbed out for some reason. I don't know why Dembele and Mbappe at least didn't get after the performances that they showed this game. I don't understand why the Shams didn't sub them out. Maybe it's because of their status. Maybe it's because of their name. Maybe because of how good they have been this tournament. I don't know, or how good they are as players. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he did that. Their midfield, their France's midfield, they got absolutely ran out of the park by Spain. Rodri was running circles around that midfield, bro. It was incredible. It was incredible. But yeah, dominant performance from Spain, and they go into the final. France are out. I feel a bit bad for Mbappe. After the tournament that he's had, because in my opinion, he's had a very good tournament. You could argue that this one's better than 2022, but unfortunately for him, he got knocked out. But yeah, and then we talk about England. Then we talk about England versus Argentina. This is the game that I watched earlier today. This one I predicted in the video that it was gonna my prior video. I predicted that it was gonna be a closer game. I knew this game would be more exciting, and I knew the one difference maker that I said during that video was gonna show up, Lionel Andres Messi, and boy did he show up. Man of the match for me. Man of the match for me, bro. This game is all about Messi, bro. This game's literally all about Messi and his greatness, bro. I literally said it before, and I'll keep saying it. You have to change that name from Argentina to Lionel Andres Messi, bro. Because the carry job that he's doing with Argentina this World Cup is incredible, bro. It's incredible. He's contributed in every single game other than the game against Switzerland. And even that game against Switzerland, I thought he was decent. I didn't even think he really put a foot wrong that game. Absolutely, this is a historic World Cup, bro. For him. All-timer, bro. And he's 39 years old, bro. He's 39 years old pulling out these performances, bro. It's insane, bro. It's incredible. It's what is it? We've never seen this, bro. We've never seen a 39-year-old come into a World Cup and play as good as Messi. And I'm telling you right now, even if Messi, it doesn't matter if Messi loses or wins the final. For me, he's the player of the tournament. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Messi loses or wins against Spain. I'll give my prediction for that later. But, bro, this guy, in my opinion, is for no doubt player of the tournament, bro. This guy's incredible. It's not only the GA, if for the people who care about GA a lot, it's not only he not only has the GA, but he has the performances to back it up, bro. He has the performances. An assist and a goal against Cape Verde to drag Argentina, to carry Argentina to that win. Cape Verde, we all know they were going band for band on Argentina. Game against Egypt, I'm pretty sure he got an assist or two, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I kind of forgot, but he contributed in that game, carrying Argentina again to another comeback. I think it was an assist and a goal again. I don't know. And then the game against Switzerland obviously didn't contribute, but made an impact in my opinion. Thought he was really decent. And in this game, another 2 assists, bro. This guy is legendary, bro. This guy's the GOAT, bro. He is. He's the GOAT. And, anybody who says that, it's rigged for Argentina, it's favored for Argentina are paying the referees, FIFA want Messi to win the World Cup, you're just coping, bro. I'm not going to take you serious if you say something. If you're going to say, if you're going to say some dumb crap like that, bro, I'm honestly not going to take you serious, bro. I'm not. Like I always say, bro, the only controversial game that you can say that Argentina had the only controversial game where like decisions may have went their way was against Egypt. And even then, even in that game against Egypt, it's entirely on Egypt. Because how can you be 2-0 up at the 80th minute just to concede 3 goals in 15 minutes? That is a complete bottle job from Egypt. I'm not gonna criticize Argentina for anything, because that is completely on Egypt. So that's the only controversial game that you could probably say when it comes to Argentina. Other than that, bro, like, it's just been a messy carriage of this entire tournament. It's been incredible. And then I gotta talk about England, bro. And the way that they played, I'm honestly kind of disappointed, because it was a boring first half. It was a really boring first half. Not much happened. You know, a lot of fouls. I did, a lot of fouls. Didn't watch most of the first half because I was asleep. I woke up late into the game, so like kind of late into the first half. So I didn't really get to see much. I saw like the last 15 minutes, but a lot of fouls. Second half was a lot more entertaining. So this is where I start to talk about England, because Gordon scores, right? You know, Barca player. Now he's a new Barca player. Scores, right? You know, and then in the 70-something minute, Tuchel takes Gordon off, puts defensive players, subs in defensive players, and then plays a low block for the next 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And when Tuchel decided to sub in his defensive players, specifically when Tuchel decided to play a low block, when he started to play Haram ball, when he started to play like my team Arsenal, that's when I knew he lost the game. Because you can't be doing that. First of all, why are you playing a low block 30 minutes early? 20 minutes early? Why are you playing a low block 20 minutes early? I can understand if you're doing that late into the game, you're trying to keep your lead. But you're doing this in like the 60th, 70th minute. Why? Why are you doing that? And second of all, why are you doing this in a World Cup semifinal, bro? You're one step away from winning the whole thing. You're telling me you're playing a low block in the 60th, 70th minute? Like, come on now, bro. And then once you play the low block, you start giving Argentina chances. You start giving Argentina crosses. You start letting them have crosses. You start letting them spam crosses. You start letting them have these shots. And this is the same problem that I had against Switzerland. This is why I was frustrated with Switzerland too, because they allowed Argentina to have too many chances. And that's the reason why they scored. That's the reason why they made that comeback, because Switzerland, they didn't press Argentina. They didn't go full attacking. They let Argentina have chances. That's how Argentina made the comeback, because if you let Argentina have chances, they're going to kill you. They will score on you eventually. But at least I can excuse Switzerland, because Switzerland were trying to wait. Switzerland was smart. They were trying to keep a low block because they wanted to get into penalties. They wanted to get the pens because they knew that was their greatest chance of winning, which I totally agree. Switzerland is nowhere near the level of Argentina. Switzerland didn't win a World Cup 4 years ago like Argentina. Switzerland don't have the quality like Argentina. But England, there's no excuse, bro. There's no excuse for that. At least you can give an excuse to Switzerland, bro. Because Switzerland as a team is not as good as Argentina. They're not. They don't have the quality as Argentina. They don't have the players as Argentina. They're not good as a team. But England, that's different. Because England has better quality players. England has a better team than Argentina with better players. England has more world-class players on their team than Argentina. The only player that Argentina really has is Messi, bro. It's just Messi and friends, bro. It's just Messi and co. It's just Messi. England have all these players: Jude Bellingham, Kane, Saka, like Declan Rice. Like, they have all these world-class players. And yet they choked and they played a low block. How do you have all those world-class players on the pitch and you don't decide to play full-on attacking, bro? And that's what England should have done. They should have played attacking. They should have tried to get another goal or two. But instead they tried to play a low block. They tried to be defensive against an Argentina team that loves to attack, that's known for attacking, and they paid the price. They paid the price. They got knocked out. And now we go to the third place game, France versus England, and I'm gonna predict it. I'm gonna predict this third place game. I didn't expect this. I thought it was gonna be France for Argentina final, but Spain impressed me. And I always knew Argentina was gonna go through. I knew they were gonna go through because of one man and one man only, Lionel Andres Messi. And I literally told you guys last video that it was gonna be Messi that was gonna be the difference maker, and look what happened. 2 assists. He was literally the difference maker. I literally predicted it, and it's so predictable because Argentina, they have, one more thing about Argentina. These guys have the greatest mentality I've seen in a World Cup, bro. These guys are the greatest. These guys have the greatest mentality ever, bro. When you think that these guys are out, they're done, they're out. I didn't underestimate them this game. But I genuinely thought that they could get. I genuinely thought that they could get eliminated by Cape Verde and Egypt. But Argentina, they proved me wrong in the final minutes. They come back. I didn't underestimate them this time because I knew I'd be too naive if I did something like that. And Argentina came back again, thanks to Messi. And it's just incredible, bro. These guys are mentality. These guys are mentality monsters. These guys have the best mentality, bro. These guys have the best mentality, and I knew it ever since. And I knew it ever since the Egypt game, bro. These guys have the best mentality, bro. It's insane. It's actually insane how good their mentality is. This is the type of team that they don't feel like the game's over until they think the game's over or whatever. Something similar like that. It's incredible. It's incredible. But anyways, I'm gonna predict the third place match, France versus England. This match doesn't really mean much at this point since they're both out of the World Cup. It's just for third place. I'm gonna go with France. I'm basing this off the World Cup. I think France have been I'm still gonna hold on this. I don't care if they're not in the final. I don't care if they're not gonna win. I still think France have been the most convincing team in the World Cup. I still think they were the best team in the World Cup. So I'm just gonna go with France. I'm gonna make this third place prediction short since the video is already long enough, and plus, I don't really care about the third place prediction. And then we got the World Cup final. The big prediction here: Spain versus Argentina. Lamine Yamal versus Messi. Both number 10s. Incredible match. Historic, bro. Historic. The guy who came from La Masia 20 years ago against the young talent who came from La Masia a couple years ago. Lamine the Dream Yamal against Messi. I'm loving this final, bro. I'm loving this. As a Barca fan, bro, I'm loving this, bro. Spain versus Argentina, bro. I can root either for Messi or Yamal, bro. This is literally the best outcome for me, bro. And in my opinion, this game's actually very hard on who the winner's going to be. Because Argentina, the thing with them is, if you have a difference maker like Messi, and I'll keep saying this, you can do anything, bro. You can win the World Cup 5 times in a row with somebody like Messi, bro. That's just how good he is. And with a difference maker like Messi, you can do anything. But the thing that's different to the other teams that Argentina faced is that I think that Spain, this is going to be their hardest match. Because Spain, in my opinion, out of all the teams that they face, I think Spain's been their most convincing team. They're gonna be the most convincing opponent that they face. They just beat the best team in the World Cup, in my opinion, the most convincing team in the World Cup in France. They just beat France and very convincingly. They beat them very convincing. Very good performance from Spain. Plus, I feel like because of how good their defense is and how much Spain love to have the ball on their feet, I feel like that'll kind of trigger Argentina in some moments. I feel like that'll limit Argentina when it comes to having the ball, making chances. I feel like it's going to limit Argentina like it kind of did with France. And I feel like they'll suffer. I feel like they'll suffer from it. And as much as I would love Messi to win his second World Cup in a row, that would be great. But I think it's going to be a new winner, and I think it's going to be Spain. I think Spain will be the World Cup winners. I think Spain also have been the more convincing team than Argentina, in my opinion. Argentina have that mentality. That's the thing about Argentina. You never know about Argentina. Argentina have that mentality. And plus, they have, like I say, bro, I always say this. I will not be surprised if Messi proves me wrong. Like he did against Cape Verde, Egypt. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. This guy has the ability to change a game. He has the ability to change the game on his own. Doesn't matter what minute. It could be the 60th, 70th, 50th, 80th, 40th minute. He can change the game, bro. He can change the game on his own, individually. He doesn't need the other players. He doesn't need the other players. As long as he has himself in his best capacity, best form, everything, he can change the game by himself. So I wouldn't be surprised if Messi wins them the World Cup again. But I'm gonna go with Spain. I'm gonna go with Spain. Spain's probably the logical choice, anyways. So, they're the better team, better players. It's the logical choice. So I'm basically playing the safe card here. But I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I'm saying this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina win. I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina win. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think again, I don't think this final will be as crazy as the 2022 final. I don't think it'll be as high scoring. I think this game will be very close. I think it's gonna be very close, like the Spain, like the England versus Argentina game. In terms of scoreline, I think it'll be very close. Especially since Spain, obviously they haven't conceded a goal this tournament other than Belgium. They're really good defensively. They're very structured as a team, very composed. They're good. They have a good unit, and I think it'll be a very close game. But I think Spain will just about win. I think they will just about win. And the Barca boys, Lamine, Pedri, Kubasi, Gavi, Eric Garcia, all win a World Cup, bro. I'm missing a few other Barca players, bro, but I think it'll be the Barca players that'll win this, bro. I think it'll be them. Plus, I kind of want them to win a World Cup more than Messi because, I love Messi, but, Messi won the World Cup 2022. So, I wouldn't be too hurt if he doesn't. I wouldn't be too hurt if he lost the final. I wouldn't because he already won it in 2022. He already has a World Cup. So, I wouldn't get hurt if he didn't win it this time. But, yep, that's my prediction. Spain winners of the 2026 World Cup. Crazy how time flies fast because I remember just seeing the group stage games. The first week, the second week, the third week. Seeing all those games, and now we're at the final of the World Cup. It's incredible. It's insane. But, yes, I think Spain will be the winners of the 2026 World Cup. As this World Cup comes to an end, this is FGS Gamer YT signing out. Bye.